Alright, so like I said, Dr. Haas will be here shortly. However, I will get started with our land acknowledgement. The town of Hinton respectfully acknowledges that it is located on the First Peoples traditional lands. We recognize this traditional territory to show respect and understanding to those who walk this land since time immemorial. Today, we uphold our ongoing responsibility to work together in the spirit of the intent of the treaties with all the First Peoples and nations that call this place home. The town expresses gratitude for the opportunity to build a better community on these secret lands for generations to come. And with that, I will call the meeting to order at 6:31. All right, everybody has a copy of the agenda that was circulated. Are there any additions to the agenda today? I did see a note from Trevor. I think that's mostly going to be covered when we talk about the strat plan, but if we don't cover it completely, maybe just bring it up at the end.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so with that said, I need a motion to adopt the agenda from somebody who isn't me.
Make that motion.
All right, are you scribbling away down
I
there?
was adopting motion, yeah.
And I'll second that. Okay, and I'll call motion to question. All those in favor? Thank you very much. That carried unanimously, George. So that brings us to item 2.1, which is adoption of the meeting minutes. Were there any errors, omissions, anything needing changes in the minutes that anybody noticed? Seeing none and nobody's on the screen today. Can I get a motion to adopt the minutes of October 9, 2024? Beth made that motion. And I'll call the question. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you. That brings us to our next item on the agenda, which is the information items wayfinding signage update. I'll give that update and then Chad, you fill in the blanks. Okay, so we finally secured company to build our signs, so that's super exciting. And they went out with Chad on a little tour around. That was last week, and we'll have shovels in the ground by the end of this week, early next week. So the focus is first our large signs that are located at Reimer, 2 to the west of the Sutherland entrance. And then we'll tackle the big sign at the Sutherland entrance, adding the signboards and stuff in there. And then we'll head out probably in between with the smaller markers, like the smaller wayfinding signage. We just want to make sure that we have the full signs up first, and then we'll fill in the blanks with the rest. Did I forget anything?
You didn't,
Okay.
except for Lindgren.
Oh, good.
So we're not gonna do the big sign first. The big sign at Sutherland is gonna be
Sorry, we're doing that.
left after, till after, because it is already there in its place. We're gonna do there's gonna be at least 4 done, hopefully within the next couple weeks, minus, you know, a little here and there, but they're gonna do 1 at Reimer, the one in just on the other side of the boardwalk there, and then 2 on the other side, and then there's another 2 that are way in the back that are done in the future.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna come back and do the big lines, so.
You meant big.
Big.
I meant big. So, okay, the ones that are at Reimer and I guess the first 3 that are getting done, those are the big ones, but they're not the giant, like they won't be as big as the one that's at the entrance at Sutherland. So they're like the smaller version, but they're still bigger than like your typical wayfinding signs that say like, go this way, right? So remember we have like a couple locations of the bigger signs so that people know like you are here. So those ones are first. And then we'll follow up as we go through winter. That's that one. You'll see some shovels in the ground out there, communications probably tomorrow, depending on when the contractor confirms that they're actually heading up there. Questions on that? Then, moving on. Item 3.2, so just an update that I wanted to give regarding the phase 1 that's coming really soon. It's already snowing out there, so they have sent us over. So I don't know if you guys recall that part of the scope is that this time around we're actually getting engineered drawings and as-built. So that going forward, any work that we need to do will be a lot easier because we'll actually have like a document to give the contractor that we didn't make at this table. So that'll be really awesome. So we reviewed that, their kind of first draft, and then have a meeting tomorrow to go through that with them and refine the schedule even further. They have secured sort of their lodging for the winter months, so they'll be joining us here in Hinton for a few months. And that's the update. If anything big comes out of tomorrow's meeting, I'll maybe send it shared around the community by email. But things are chugging along. Any questions on that?
This is more from the strap plan, but I just wanted, we can delay it if it's not relevant, but this priorities, there's sort of a line graph of what is going to be done. And so November, removal of submerged phase sections, A, D, and E. And then December, January, decommissioning of virtually all the rest of it. So what does that mean?
So that's where they go as soon as it's frozen, they're gonna do it in phases.
Oh,
So
okay,
they're gonna
yeah.
take the top off.
Yeah.
Take all that down, then they come and they pull piles, and then get it back in. Yeah.
But they're not gonna just close all of it.
No,
Just
as they go.
as they work.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Any other questions on that one?
On kickoff of phase one, does the town intend to put out like an article in the Voice or something?
Yeah, so we had talked at this table a little bit about that comms that Beth, we did a comms, went around and stuck it up everywhere. As we get closer, we'll be updating those, so it'll go in the paper, on the radio, especially when we're like closer to actually like shovels in the ground, let's go. So yeah, it'll get updated, and then if they fall a little bit short, or there's a delay, like there's gonna be lots of updating people, because we know that they go out there and use it even in the winter months. So we want people to know which way is which.
Yeah, like it's certainly exciting, so it'd be awesome to see it front page on.
Sure, it will be. I had the Fitzhugh actually reach out and they wanted comment on that comms that came out, and I was just it is what it is. It says what it says, right? So I'm sure they'll be calling back in a few weeks.
Sure.
All right. Any other questions on that? Okay, Heather Mark is spearheading that project piece for me while we still wait for our director. So she was gonna come and deliver this tonight, but they're so small that I was like, I'll just chat about it. You guys will meet her soon. Okay, moving on, action item number 4, which is the committee's message. So in the strap plan, oh, give me a second to just share my screen here. Nobody make fun of how ugly it is currently in its current state, okay? Comms will deal with that.
You drop that Beaver.
I'm not sure that either. I did not.
I mean, I was gonna say it's pretty good.
He is missing teeth if I did drop him. All right, so what I have for you guys today, what the focus is gonna be this slide. Oh, are you kidding? Oh, there we go. So we're gonna focus on committee message today, but I thought we would go through it once all together, talk about anything that pops up out at you guys, and then we'll get into the activity for developing this slide. So we have our table of contents. That's pretty self-explanatory. I'm gonna go ahead and skip that. Okay, so we have, I just stole the purpose directly from the bylaw, and that just helps orient anyone who's not familiar with the Beaver Boardwalk. Maybe that's really small. Better. That just helps orient anyone who's not familiar with the committee and how we exist, why we exist, who gives us our powers to exist. So that's pretty. That's a little bit different than what you would see in a strat plan, but for council, because people typically know why there's a town council. Then we just duplicated the vision through that in here. Direct from our terms of reference as well as the agenda is right on there for us. Then we get into the meat and potatoes. So we have our 4 key priorities, which were obviously completion of the free work. This beaver does have teeth, extra bonus points for that. The Maxwell Lake area asset improvements, so those are things like the benches that we talked about, the floating dock. Then of course we have the promotion that we discussed at the last meeting. And then the continued maintenance monitoring, which ties into the item Trevor wanted to discuss more on that actual side, Trevor. And then there was a motion from the committee, if anybody's wondering or wasn't here, I think we were all here, that programming was directed by the committee to be removed as a priority until such time that we actually complete the work out there. So we'll circle back on that one at a later date. Which brings us to this strategic priority of completion of work. So I literally just copied pieces of the communications that we most recently sent out. This is the piece that is going to remain the most consistent. But let's say, so this strategic plan goes from just like to the start of 27. So if we realize, okay, this project is done and this is really outdated now. This becomes like egregiously outdated and we decide we want to update it. Easy enough, we just replace the slide and then you guys could just adopt the edited version at that time. But I think it's going to kind of dovetail nicely into the termination of this plan, right, through 26. Will bring us nicely to when we're supposed to start our next round of strategic plan. So I think it's gonna line up pretty good. Okay, then we have our assets, so everything that you guys listed, they're here. Now, you need to remember that a strategic plan is the what, not the how, right? So we sit around this table and come up with the how. This just tells the public what the what is. So what are we trying to achieve? And these are the areas you guys said you wanted to focus on.
I just have a comment, and it might be pretty minor, but I always want to call that a deck, not a dock, because it's not for boats. So to me, it's more of a deck, because the young person puts a canoe in, whatever, but you're not going to. We're not inviting, it's not a place where you tell people to go canoe.
Good luck in your canoe over there. But does anybody want to make a motion to change it to deck? I think colloquially, the community understands it as dock, but it's not the hill I'm gonna die on, so if you guys want to change it, we can. You guys. Have a sip of my coffee, what do you think about it?
Well, I'll make the motion, but I mean, whatever, yeah. You know.
Okay, so what's the motion exactly?
The motion is to change the terminology of floating dock to floating deck.
Okay, do you want to speak to it further?
I think just the same, like when we first put that in, we were saying, well, we don't really wanna, it's not for boats, so that's what a dock really is, but I guess, so I thought, why not deck? That's all.
Does anybody else have any comments on that item?
That makes sense to me too, yeah.
Trevor, I saw one of these, not sure if I'm.
Yeah, I've since one half dozen of the other to me,
Yeah.
dock to me, on a personal level, it's just more of a waterfront or water's edge wooden platform, but if dock or if deck, it makes most sense to everyone.
Anybody else, comments, thoughts?
I'm one way or the other, it doesn't matter to me, but
Further comments, anybody? I like it. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call the question that, what was it again, that the terminology be adjusted from floating dock to floating deck. All those in favor? And that is carried 5-1. Okay. So it carries. I will make a note. Why not? Stand by.
That's come back and forth over the years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right, this one here spent way too much time on this slide, adding all the pins, anyways, So this one is our strategic priorities related to promotion. So these were the items that were discussed. We wanted to work with the DMO, the Destination Marketing Organization and Visitor Information Center over at the Chamber to understand what they're already doing and how we can supplement or do what they're not doing, etc. Then we also talked about working with, admin to enhance the marketing of the boardwalk to schools and parent associations within the region as we defined it. And then we had the determining the feasibility and sustainability of direct BBOC public communication. So we had talked a little bit about, is it feasible to have a Facebook page or a website or whatever mechanism we choose? So that's something that we'll hash out over the next while here. Then we have this one here, which is the continued maintenance monitoring. So obviously, these are the things that we take into consideration. So safety of the boardwalk, public feedback. This is a big one for admin because like it's such a vast area that we don't have the staff to go there and check it. So we really rely on people calling us, sending us a service request saying, oh, like a tree fell here, or this board is broken, or what have you. Like, we really appreciate that. Of course, we do chat with it a couple times a year to note definitely what kind of preventative maintenance needs to get done. We will have a care and maintenance component of the items received from the contractor. So that'll be helpful in making our schedule. This is a big area that, you know, you guys help with as well as the public feedback. But when you guys are out there and then we sit around this table and then, you know, y'all will be like, oh, that one section's flooded and those kinds of things. Those ones that make their way into the operating maintenance plan is super helpful for administration coming from you guys around this table because it helps us prioritize, and that also helps us see those reoccurring issues. Like that one section that Chad fixed last year by adding boardwalk over top because the water level just kept making it super puddly. Was that FF? I think. And then of course, typically each year, or at least in the past, we have identified certain areas around the boardwalk that require reclamation, whether it's the hill and the gravel is sloughing off into the wetland, or we have that one section on the south side that, you know, we've got dogs going down to the water, so we want to place some boulders and things there just to discourage those activities. So those are the focuses of what creates the operating maintenance plan. You guys will recall that in your terms of reference, there's a requirement that the operating maintenance plan be developed around this time each year during budget and is approved no later than February each year, so that that's the one we're operating with every calendar year. So that practice will remain in place until the end of the committee, if that is ever a thing, right? So that's the practice of, that's the process that we'll have for the operating maintenance. Did that cover what you're looking for, Trevor, or do you mean beyond?
I think beyond, maybe it's more tuned for next year. In a previous meeting, you made mention of the town's already had discussions about potentially reducing the funding level of the maintenance program. So I'd just like to, doesn't need to be tonight, but discuss what the town's intentions is for a maintenance program going forward, and basically how can we ensure that maintenance is kept up to maintain what is going to be built.
So I think the biggest thing is going to be the level, and we have time tonight, so I'll dive into it if you guys don't mind. We have CAOs put each department through or tasked us with creating levels of service. So we do have a level of service for trails within the park that was adopted by council. Boardwalk was mentioned in there, but it was pretty light, right? Because we're still working on it out there. We have very few pieces of boardwalk elsewhere. So likely what will happen is at the time that the project is complete, I'll need to update that policy anyways. So at that time, we will have a discussion around this table. You guys will make recommendation, admin will make recommendation, and then council will decide on what the final level of service is for the boardwalk. And then that dictates how we maintain it and the amount of manpower we have or contracted dollars, et cetera, that goes towards that asset. That's the go forward plan before we actually have a maintenance plan. That makes sense.
And that's to be developed once construction is completed.
Yeah, I think like when we're seeing after how this winter goes, we can see how quick it is, we'll likely have a conversation about when I need to start that work. Because it will require that, of course, we go to council and then got it back every time from there.
Okay. Well, well, looking forward to that conversation on, when we get to it.
Yeah, and with the reduced amount in the budget, so the reason that they chose $60,000 was in 2016-17. That was the moment that council kind of said, hey, this thing is really suffering, it's unsafe, the town has to do something. So at that time, the supervisor, who wasn't even Chad, said, I'm gonna need a minimum this amount of money to do anything out there because it was such in poor condition. So I think we'll reassess, but I think in the first couple of years, the work will be. It'll be in tip top shape, so it'll likely be scaled back and then planned over time, likely in year 5 to start growing again. And then around this table too, we'll start to notice, like, oh, that section's a little bit wobbly, in 2 years, we're gonna need to go in there and do that maintenance, right? So it'll kind of be a continuous process. Evaluating it. Other questions on that one? Great question. Well. Cool. All right, which brings me to our lovely chart. It's like. Did it all in one. Can everybody kind of see it? Okay.
These TVs aren't big.
I can zoom in a little more.
No.
No, okay. Oh, you're me, okay. So we have the Boardwalk rehabilitation project that kicks off this quarter in 24. Wayfinding signage is already underway, and then our first interpretive signage subcommittee meeting is this evening after this one. So essentially the green boxes tell you the timeline that I've given, and that was kind of based on things that are already happening. Based on the conversations that we had through our strategic planning on how you guys prioritized certain things on those charts. And then just some of them, it's seasonal, it has to be during a certain time. You will notice a couple of them, like the entrance, I broke it down into planning to happen in 25, and then the actual project, is down in the next line. Project planning would probably happen the following year, depending on what the quote comes back, right? So this is still a bit of a moving target, because if Chad's quote comes back, and we're able to afford that in our budget next year, then we'll do the work, right? If it's a significant amount beyond what we already have, and we would be kind of stealing from other projects or other things we've committed to, then we have 2 options, which is go to council, ask them for more money, or wait till the following year. So some of them are split up that way for that reason. And then some of them you'll see on here multiple times, like the operating maintenance plan, so I kind of just spoke to that. So typically each Q1, you will officially approve it, you start working on it sooner than that, but that's when it's officially approved, so that's why it appears a couple of times, similar to the promotion of the boardwalk. So I kind of figured, okay, for that one, in Q1 each year, we're gonna be adopting our operating plan. We'll work a little bit through those 2 months, starting to work on what we think we should be doing for promotion. And then that would kind of go live in Q2, but then each year, that's when that would occur, which makes sense because there's snow, we're seeing maybe less people out there at that time, but we're getting the comms out with enough runway before it's the summer season. So that was kind of my thought on some of these timelines. I'll let you guys sort of like stare at it for a minute and let me know if anything is like, that makes no sense and I want to change it.
Over for talk and active.
Thank you. Perfect. I took a screen snip of that one. That's okay. I have it on my. That's okay. I can fix it. I can fix anything.
You know what slide is this? This is too much. Yeah, it's not like a huge. But if it's easy, then fine. How much does like the contractor depend on it being frozen before they can get in there?
The only one that they have an exception for is the sunken AA.
So
That would make you do in, like now, if they,
want.
yeah, but I think we'll hear about that tomorrow, or
Right, right, right.
but everything else is under those conditions. Yeah. Okay, other than dock to deck, are there any other changes on here? Or anything that you're not sure of?
Service plan,
We could. Would you like to make a motion and then discuss it? Okay,
include the level of service plan. In this chart, and speak to that with the reasoning for it would be so that it doesn't get missed. Oh, but it's based on.
does anybody else have comments? Or would like to speak to it? I do have a clarifying question if that's okay, Trevor.
No.
It's gonna seem silly. But I think that that falls under this priority, so I don't wanna add it as a separate priority, but rather add it as a component of the plan. As related to operating needs, does that make
Sure.
sense?
Yeah, that works.
Does everybody? Understand that piece, okay, good, if nobody else wants to speak to Trevor's motion, then, does anybody wanna speak to Trevor's motion? You guys could be inside my head right now, there's a lot happening. In that case, I will call the question that administration add a level of service plan to the plan implementation. Can you read that back to me?
So,
Admin add a level of service plan to
Strategic.
the strategic priority plan.
No, let's just say to slide 11 of the strategic plan.
yeah,
That's better.
so can you explain why you think it's not necessary to put in that 11 again, so I understand?
Oh, sure, yeah. So if we go to this page here with our strategic priorities, continued maintenance monitoring, in my mind, the level of service that we would be having council approves directly related to that strategic priority. So if you think of the priority as kind of the top of the triangle, and then you have all these things that you do to meet that priority. So creating a level of service document or having council approve that fulfills this continued maintenance monitoring priority. And if we look at this here, so Boardwalk rehabilitation project, that's the first priority, right? That's your little Beaver priority over there. Wayfinding signage, that's probably under assets. Interpreter sign assets, information boards assets, dock assets, Sutherland assets, operating plan, obviously that's tied to the operating plan one. Beaver Boardwalk promotion goes to promotion, and then this level of service plan would fall under the overarching priority of operating maintenance.
Oh, okay, so it would be in the second last line then,
Yeah, I would probably just throw it in over here.
that's where that would go.
It wouldn't really matter where it
Right.
falls in the list,
Yeah,
but
but when you develop that plan, the level of service would come out,
correct.
yeah, okay.
Okay, so if George could read back the motion, I will call the question.
Motion by admin to add a level of service plan to slide 11 of the strategic plan.
Take your time out. I can't make a motion, so it's
Oh.
that admin, not by admin, so it's Trevor's making the motion with that administration
Gotcha.
do blah blah blah.
Motion by Trevor.
So we all understand the motion on the table?
Oh, for clarifying.
Yeah.
Does. That was my motion. But you just explained that an LOS plan falls within the ops maintenance
Priority.
priority.
Falls under that priority, we will create a large plan around operational maintenance, but council will have to approve the level of service separately, which also helps then kind of back inform our operating maintenance plan that we make every year.
So I
You're
don't.
not good, you're not,
I'm.
hang on, let me try one more time. Okay,
I'm just.
so each of these is a priority. Okay, those are your North Stars, that's the important things that you guys have identified. Each of the projects on that implementation page fall under one of these 4 categories. And maybe I need to add a category to the chart so you guys can see which priority it is. I'll add that in myself, don't need a motion for that, I think it's clear to me that we need that.
That would be useful, and then we could see which of the 4 priorities or these strategies fall under.
Okay. Okay, so a component of the way that we do continued maintenance monitoring is the level of service that council has to set. So right now, we have an operating plan that we've discussed for next year, right? If we get the level of service done, right, council approves it. In 2026, when we're writing, or before 2026, when we're writing that new operating maintenance plan, we'll have to take into account the level of service that council just adopted. So it's a piece of overall maintenance monitoring is establishing that level of service.
Okay.
We're all there? Excellent. Okay, George, one more time.
Trevor's motion that admin add a level of service plan to slide 11 of the strategic plan.
Beautiful. If nobody else wants to speak to it, all those in favor?
I'll second.
Beautiful. I'm sorry, Beth, I didn't see. All those against? No, no one.
Well, to me, it sounds like you don't need it because it's already in here.
Don't take it.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
But to Trevor's point, we don't want to lose sight of it, just like we didn't want to lose sight of the
right, okay,
Yeah.
I'll go for it, sure.
okay. Carried unanimously. Okay. Okay. So the overall plan for this is after you guys do the activity tonight, I will send this off to comms, they'll make it even prettier. And branded to like the Hinton standards or whatever. And then you guys will actually adopt it in December so that it's all ready to go for the new year. Okay, that's the game plan. Which brings me to our next activity. So, just stop this. Okay, great. One of each, you don't need one, and pass around. If you don't recognize the people on the second sheet, you shouldn't, they're from a different community, it's just an example. Take one of each, pass it around. Thank you, Master. I'll leave it. No, chat on the chair. All right, so what I did was I stole the mayor's message from the town of Hinton strategic plan. And then found another random community, I think I went with, what are you, Stony Plain? And stole their similar message, or their similar page in their strategic plan. So they're 2 kind of different vibes, you got one from the mayor, one from the whole council, but that's, I would argue, a little bit more brief. So what we're going to do is first I'm gonna give you guys about 5 minutes to read those. Just let me know when you're all done reading. So, well, you guys need to develop your own message to fill in that one page for the plan. And then I have to take it off to comms for them to wordsmith it, and hopefully you guys, it still holds, kind of the intent that you guys had. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna split the table down the middle. This group, you guys are gonna work together. That group, you guys are gonna work together on a sheet of paper. Discuss these two and then figure out what you think your message, the committee's message should be. Jot down some ideas, and then we'll throw them up on the screen, both sides, and we'll kind of wordsmith until we get to something that's close to what you guys like. Everybody loves group work.
So, just like these are for the whole town, right? But we're just doing for the boardwalk,
Yes.
we're not doing this whole
Correct.
economic strategy.
Yeah,
Blah, blah, blah.
But it talks about the components that were important to them, so of our plan, those kinds of strategies, right, those are the things you wanna hit on in this message, and likely as an oversight committee, how does that relate to the community and doing what you guys do around this table? Okay. Alright, go forth, make chatter happen, we'll start with 15 minutes and then we'll check in on how everybody's doing. Judge. You can do that, that works.
Too, yeah. This one's a little busted.
Yeah.
Do I use it? What's that?
Am I doing my coffee?
Move to what?
Okay, we actually have an update.
Yeah.
Tried finding our contractors, follow us, and they have their, well, can we start this week?
Then just put it on. We got to follow. Sorry.
Getting the call back, so.
But we had to.
Yeah.
That's good.
Hey, people sometimes say the squeaky wheel gets the grease and that's not a good thing, but you know, sometimes
We need your signs filled.
annoying them sometimes is the best way. to go.
We're like, please take our money.
Yeah. Yeah, right? Don't you want to do it?
That dog's been really busy with other stuff.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's no boring. All right, thank you guys. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to type in our couple of options that you guys have developed. And then we will wordsmith them. Let me make some big writing here, just call it 18, see how that. Okay, Kelly, you go ahead.
Okay, well, I think I can probably read all this.
Okay.
Your Beaver Boardwalk Oversight Committee has developed a strategic plan that continues to promote the unique opportunities the
Hold on, do that. And that continues to,
promote the unique opportunities the boardwalk has to offer, while maintaining ecological integrity. And enhancing the outdoor experience of locals and visitors.
outdoor experience for local residents. Okay,
Our committee is
Oh,
built.
there's more.
Oh, there's way more.
Okay. Our committee
Is built from passionate townsfolk working towards maintaining standards that Hinton expects of us. Our strat plan will allow us to focus on key priority areas, including but not limited to rehabilitation, lineage, local boards, decks, seating, entrance planning, boardwalk promotion.
lost me at signage. One more time.
Okay.
Rehabilitation signage.
Info boards, decks and seating, entrance planning, boardwalk promotion.
And I'm gonna just circle back on all these words that are faster. What? Really quick. Yeah.
Our vision is to continue sustained
Hang on. Where's Howard?
is to continue sustained conscious growth and make informed decisions that reflect our community values and enhance the quality of life for all Hintonites. Our strat plan represents steps along a path toward our long-term vision.
Steps along a path.
Oh,
Um,
almost done. As your Beaver Boardwalk Oversight Committee, we are proud to be sharing this plan with you, the residents.
So I turn this into one. More. Obviously, I know what these things say. Chad. Okay, but you would have said.
So all this guy.
We were good, yeah.
Yeah,
We have to put that together then.
yeah, we've got just ideas, we haven't really fleshed. But yeah, we just. This was kind of-
I feel like I missed something in this list. Was this all here? Rehabilitation, signage, info boards, decks and seating, entrance planning, boardwalk promotion.
We just kind of took whatever was in this.
Did I forget anything though? Did I just list them all?
Okay, so
Okay.
That's it.
Our vision is to continue sustaining. Tonight's right. You know, if I take this recommendation of, we are proud to, instead of be sharing, we are proud to just share. Okay. Okay, let me just, did you guys have specific paragraphs anywhere or?
we were just assuming that the comms committee was gonna go.
They absolutely will. I just wanna make sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you guys, who's gonna see this? Okay, that's one, and then we will. Maybe it's gonna be team blue, that's all right with you. All right, team, I haven't picked your color yet, you're up.
Green. Okay.
Green, okay.
So we like the Stony Plain approach better as well. Felt it was more welcoming and warm and fuzzy and the same feelings that we wanted from the boardwalk. But the mayor's message was a little bit stiff and I got bored halfway through reading this here. Didn't want that. So we came up with key ideas that we would just plug and play into the Stony Plain approach.
Okay, wait, so do you want me to just list the key ideas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Meat and potatoes and then Tom's can spread the gravy around.
Oh, I like that, okay, cool.
So we wanted to promote the wildlife connection and our community's connection to the natural environment and the maintenance for future generations.
So I community connection to. What was that last one you said?
Maintain for future generations. A little corny, but
I'm pretty sure that's in our vision, so that's not corny at all.
our key priority areas were for rehabilitation, management, promotion, and maintenance. Which is the four.
Yeah.
Some that we just came up with.
These 4 ones on your slide.
And now we really wanted to identify that our vision was to continue the town's focus on maintenance. Because if not, the committee's goal of ensuring that it's rehabbed and maintained, et cetera. The town's role to do that and our committee's goal is to make sure the town continues that. We want to enhance the quality of life, ecological integrity. You guys all had that work.
We put ecological integrity in there?
You said ecological, they added integrity.
So, our final paragraph was our strategic plan, represents guiding footsteps on our trail towards long-term vision. Sounded better in my head.
Our trail to what?
Towards our long-term vision. Again, this is a little rough, but we're committed to ensuring that the Beaver Boardwalk remains a town priority for upkeep for it.
Remains.
A town priority for upkeep for its people.
Citizens.
Town priority towards people.
A town priority for upkeep for its people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. Your words.
I will not be heard of.
Okay. So, let me see if I can just on the fly words. What kind of words are we making here, Heather? We're just capitalizing stuff all over, sorry, everybody. Wildlife connection, community connection to the environment. For your key priorities, you just put those 4, so that's kind of what I put there for comms. It's the vision to continue the town's focus on maintaining assets. So were these intended to be just kind of bullet points, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
More
yeah,
so.
perfect.
I didn't know we had this in today.
Yeah, no, just.
Is doctor homework ever? What's that?
Pop quiz.
Yeah, no, just like bullet points and then you can, like, so when this all, you're gonna give to your comms to pretty up.
Mhm.
And then do we get a chance to make a comment on that?
Yeah, so what I think I'm gonna do, since you guys took 2 different approaches, and I love when I do activities like this, and I think I'm gonna get, and they're different, that's fine. So what we'll do then is if you guys are happy with what each group's present, I didn't hear anything, and I'm like, whoa, flag on the play. Did any of you?
I think we can add some of their words into ours pretty
You wanna
easily.
do that? Okay, let me
I
see.
was thinking even like for that top paragraph for enhancing the outdoor experience, and you can change that to wildlife connection and. The other one, I guess.
Connection with natural.
Yeah,
Do we need to keep promoting the Boardwalk on this? Isn't this just a Beaver Boardwalk plan? Like, that's what I say. Do we need to keep praising ourselves?
No, we're taking a picture of you wearing this match.
yeah.
Yeah.
When we don't do that,
Yeah.
yeah, there will be a follow-up about that. So, what do you mean by promote? So it's not that you're promoting the BBOC does that, it's just, remember at the beginning of the strat plan, we talked about how you're giving your authority and that's through council, right? And so this really just communicates what you're doing
Mhm.
in the plan, but in your guys' own words.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
right, okay.
sorry, George, where were we on, that one?
Yeah.
Well,
Here?
just a suggestion about like enhancing the outdoor experience of changing that to wildlife connection and
Natural environment.
natural environment.
And natural environment for local residents and visitors. Our community is built from passionate town folks working toward, our committee, not community, our committee is built from passionate town folk working towards maintaining the standard that Hinton expects for us. General statement, our strategic plan will allow us to focus on key priority areas, including but not limited to rehabilitation, signage, infoboards, deck and seating. Did we forget anything in that list? that
You guys, yeah, you guys brought up a few things there.
Check,
We just did the
You guys
four
did the four.
priorities, just left it at that rather than
Yeah.
getting into all the detail. So
Yeah, that's,
your slide here, is these four things.
that might be a good
Yeah.
approach.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you get too detailed, then you get stuff where you get off track sometimes.
Yeah.
Including but not limited to, so we'll list those four and the not limited to technically, so rehabilitation is correct. Signage is a mechanisms that comes out, info boards, it's community. Promotion,
Mhm.
Asset management or something. was it?
Yeah, there was completion of the boardwalk rehabilitation. Asset improvement, maximum lake area asset improvements was the second. Beaver boardwalk promotion and continue maintenance and monitoring.
promotion. Healthy Beth. Oh, got the assets, got the promotion, I got the boardwalk, what's the other, oh, the plan.
Continue maintenance monitoring, yeah.
Our strategic plan will allow us to focus on key priority areas, including but not limited to rehabilitation of the boardwalk, promotion of the Maxwell Lake area, further asset improvements and continued maintenance monitoring. Our vision is to continue sustained conscious growth and make informed decisions that reflect our community values and enhance the quality of life for all Hintonites. One thing is jumping out to me here. I don't know that you guys actually want this. Based on everything else that we've done in this committee, I don't know that continuous or conscious growth. You want, to me, if I was a citizen reading that, that sounds to me like you want to expand the boardwalk.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Is that what?
No, no,
Oh.
I think you're right.
It does.
Yeah, that kind of jumps out at me too, because growth. I don't know what that means when politicians talk about growth, they get all like kind of creepy. And so the same thing sort of jumps on, what does that mean?
So I guess I pose that question to Blue Group.
Yeah.
What did you guys think you were saying? What were you trying to communicate there? Or was it like, these are cool words?
It was a nice sentence.
Our vision is, okay, so let's go to our vision then and see if there's anything that jumps out of us. Does anybody have I'll pull it up, stand by.
Do you want me to read it?
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, I'll just read it all.
Yes.
The Beaver Boardwalk represents the heart of Hinton's natural heritage, bridging the gap between urban and wildland by safely bringing citizens and visitors into the unique Maxwell Lake wetland. By providing an educational and recreational experience, ecological integrity is preserved for present and future generations.
Go back to the part about safely bringing residents and visitors into, what's that?
Okay, bridging the gap between urban and wildland by safely bringing citizens or visitors into the unique Maxwell Lake wetland. Yeah, it's unique. Most towns don't have this, and we want to keep it.
Of that.
Okay.
Everyone's gonna go and read it aloud.
Sure.
So I'll start from the beginning of that paragraph. Our strategic plan will allow us to focus on key priority areas, including but not limited to the rehabilitation of the boardwalk, promotion of the Maxwell Lake area, further asset improvements, and continued maintenance monitoring. Our vision is to continue to safely bring residents and visitors into the unique Maxwell Lake wetland, making informed decisions that reflect our community values and enhance the quality of life for all Hintonites and enhance.
And visitors.
Mhm.
They'll just come. They won't forget, so I don't think.
I would actually agree that, in, like, council would not write a strategic plan message thinking about Gillen County residents.
Yeah.
Correct, Trevor?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Making sure, I wanna speak.
I would just hit nights.
I had a missing
We're
word.
bringing visitors with us. How we get a visitor?
Is that stolen right out of the vision? What do you guys feel about that? That
Yeah, that sounds good.
safely bring residents and visitors into the finally making informed decisions that reflect our community values. And yeah. Okay, our strategic plan represents a step along the path toward our long-term vision. As your Beaver Boardwalk Community Oversight Committee, we are proud to share this plan with you, the residents of Hinton. BBOC will promote wildlife connection, community connection to the environment, and is maintained for future generations. Well, that's group C, doesn't it?
That's the great group.
That's green. Okay, just switch you guys to green and see if there's anything else from green that we want to throw into blue.
I'm just wondering, going back for a second,
Yeah, how much further?
to the blue one, well, keep going up to past key priority, that last. Oh, we haven't added this, no, go down. Starting at the green,
Yeah, that's a separate group, that's where. the-
okay, so we haven't added that to it,
No,
okay, because it's just, I thought if that was the last paragraph, it needs someplace else.
yeah, so
Okay.
it ends,
Okay,
so what we had just decided, and I think what we went through was. You guys had a lot of similar ideas that you guys put as bullet points here, so we just took some of the greens. Put them in the blue,
mhm.
and now we're gonna review the green to see if there's anything else we wanna steal from green and put in blue.
What about the part about community connection? Did we use that? That sounds really good. Wildlife connection.
And steps along path to our long-term vision. And not establishing community connection, because that proposes we don't have any. And fostering further community connection, fostering a rich community connection.
Yeah.
Used to work in comms.
I don't think there's anything in the blue yet about future generations. No, it's brought up a few minutes, but
Mhm. That's that next paragraph has it in there.
Huh. Review the residents of Hinton, and we're trying to add. Something.
I like that last sentence, like that that one there, where maintain for future generations, where does it fit?
I wonder, I feel like it goes somewhere in this concluding paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
Steps along the path toward our long-term vision. That is maintained for future generations and fosters rich community connection. Go there and see how she reads. Is it awkward?
What if? No, go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm just wondering if that last sentence, that green sentence. Is a better fit for that, the last blue there. Is just the BVOC strategic plan. Represents the promotion of wildlife connection, community connection to environments. And is maintained for future generations. I'm just wondering, instead of that first sentence.
Or if you guys really like, if this is the only piece of green that we're not sure about.
That comes.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking, the spot for it,
Yeah,
I just highlighted, sorry, so we have community connection,
I think we got community connection in the first paragraph.
we
Okay,
do,
we,
we added the environment, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I think for me, if we just say to comms, here's a sentence we want you to fit into there.
So this green
I
one,
think just.
like, put it somewhere in homes,
Mm-hmm.
they love that for us, they'll do it, do a great job with it.
Delegation. And then maybe those.
Oh, I'm sure they'll be like, Heather, there needs to be 8 more homes in here, what have you done? Okay, so we covered rehab, we covered all the priorities, so we can take those that are green. The BVOC will maintain the vision, we talked about the vision, maintaining asset, we talked about that in there, we can take that out, good job, everybody. Enhance quality of life, we definitely got ecological integrity in there. Guiding footsteps on our trail, path, I think we've covered this one, agreed? That this one's in the blue, yeah. Okay, do that. And we're, I think this was say committed to ensuring that the Beaver Boardwalk remains a town priority towards upkeep for its people. This isn't really said in there.
Mm.
But I like the keeping it up for the community piece, but it's not, I'm just saying, I like that. So I can throw it here too for comms. And. So then what I'm thinking, like I said, was that I'll give them this first. They'll whip something together, maybe I'll even ask them for 2, maybe 3 options, we'll see what they come up with. Send it back, I'll send it around to you guys, so that before December, you guys can all go like, yes on option 1. Or whatever, just via email, if that's okay with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way, if you guys are like, hey, option 1 is the one, then I can let comms know, they'll put it all together as a final piece and bring it back. Just as a motion though, if we could just adopt the draft today, if somebody can put that motion forward, then I can get this on.
Make that motion to adopt the draft.
Draft committee message.
Sugar. Any discussion? Kelly?
No.
No, oh, yeah, you want to vote? You're quick to vote. All right, then all those in favor of Trevor's motion to adopt the draft? And that is carried unanimously, perfect. Excellent, great work. You guys brought some really good stuff back, so I'm excited to see this.
Next time.
yeah.
Thanks, Tony.
No,
Oh,
sorry.
Tony.
Yes.
This is.
Save this. And
Oh, yeah. Is there anything else for action 4.1 meetings message? That's all?
that's it.
Okay. So we're gonna be emailing it 3 versions and then we can all vote on which version we prefer. And if there's any, you know, we like this into this or whatever, then we can go through that process as well. In the emails, so, and then we'll come to, hopefully next meeting, we'll have the completed draft. And then that'll be coming on, I'm sure, to council as well, at some point. It may not be.
It'll probably be info back.
Yeah, it'll be in the info pack, so. Okay. All right, anything else on the strategic plan that anybody would like to bring up or talk about?
Group photos.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. So as you can see on the slide that I had up, there's place for the message. Did you guys, I can just throw the Beaver Boardwalk logo on there again. I can just find another photo. On previous committees I've been on, that were pre-COVID, one even during COVID, we took a screen snip of us all in Zoom. So just wondering if you guys want to, if you don't, I can find another picture, totally up to you, discuss amongst yourselves.
Committee? What's that?
Find a different picture of a beaver.
Find it, I'm sure we were sure.
Any thoughts?
I think we could do better. Yeah.
I don't know if you can do better than this is pretty good. And the only reason I ask is because if we were gonna do a photo, I would set it up so the comms would be here at the meeting next time, but if you guys wanna do it, I'll just pick a different viewer phone, it's fine.
Well, and it may be something, doing it out at the area. We could maybe even, like if we did wanna do a group photo, we could. Make a plan for comms to meet us out there somewhere and take a group photo of us, just a thought, that's all. Get us out of this room and.
Much like you getting that picture taken, I think it's good.
Cause this is the first time we've actually done this process, really, right?
We didn't have a fully baked strat plan before
Right.
because there's so much in flux, but
Right.
this is the committee's very first full one.
Okay, so
Vote for a team photo.
team photo, okay, I was gonna say consensus for, but is everyone in agreement for consensus to have a group photo?
Sure.
Yeah, okay, so we'll let Heather, we'll send out an email and kind of make plans for comm and get out there in that area. And decide where and get that set up. For the sandflies.
Did you just ask the dress code? Did somebody ask for it? That was you? Oh.
I'm not buying new wardrobe.
Or get group 2.
Group twos? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so we'll set that up, so excellent, I think that's a great idea. All right, if there's nothing else on strategic plan, then we'll go on to round table. Sterling.
I really have to.
Okay.
Talk about it.
Are you, so you're on the youth committee again? Have they appointed, you, like, just because you are on this, or are they appointed someone else, or you haven't talked about that yet?
I got the email, to say it was on it, so.
Okay, it's perfect. All right, excellent. That's great. Trevor, you did have a question, so. This is, oh, you did, you talked about that. already. Okay, sorry, I was, here.
Just because I have to tell everybody, I've been biking to work lately and been taking a route through the boardwalk and it's awesome to have. And, it's awesome to be able to pass through there on the way to someone.
Right on.
That's my one.
Good. Beth,
Yeah, I sent a picture of the otter around.
Mhm.
That was fun.
that was awesome.
He needs to go back. I meant to, last time I mentioned to Chad, someone that's been like on the access road from the Mormon church that comes down. Somebody's been turning around and probably been backing onto the reclamation there. And I was just wondering if that was people that were looking after the house there.
Yeah, I'm not sure, I'll have to ask them.
Yeah, because we put all the logs back and everything, we kind of rearranged it all again. But I thought I'd just bring that up. Gotcha. So does that mean maintain through the winter? So how does that work? Yeah.
So that otter is not, that's not a typical thing you see here, I'm
No.
assuming? Okay,
No.
and is it something that's gonna move on, or does it make a place like this its home? It'll move on, okay.
Just check it out.
How far do they travel? Like, where do they come from?
Well, you ever seen their tracks in the snow? They're just so fun. They're just like,
Oh,
like,
okay.
they're just like it's like you see it and it's like, that's an otter. And they do, they're just like, zoom, like just sliding in the snow.
That's cool. When you think of otters, I think of the sea. I didn't realize.
We have
We
bigger
got otters, so, man, excellent, okay. George?
Yeah, no, it's cool seeing emails about the updates for the boardwalk coming through. Excited to see what happens next month if things start rolling.
Mhm.
I'd love to see more emails or more word out there, but
We just don't have anything new right now, as soon as we have new information, we'll push something out.
no, it's cool to see. And as soon as things freeze, then what happens? Exciting.
Awesome. Kelly?
No, I don't have anything with regard to getting started on the signage.
Awesome. Right on. And Julie?
Really excited about what we came up with as a team today. I think it went really well, so I'm looking forward to seeing what comes up with from that, so. It's fun.
Okay. For me, I don't know how much you follow the budget, but just so you're aware, because it's already done, it's just a formality, because in the budget, it has the free the whole reclamation and everything in there, so it's just a formality. We've also included that if we get that under million from, so it's all in the budget, it's grant funded, but it's just part of that process. Is there another thing, the maintenance too? That was in there.
That's in there because it's presupposed under the terms of.
Under the terms of reference, yeah, so if you saw it in there and wondered, why is it in there? Isn't that part of it? It's just the formality of it, so. Yeah, other than that, yeah, I'm excited to see the strap plan, so. Good. You guys have any round tables?
No, I don't think so. You can cover it. I did not talk today. Next.
No, I'm just excited. I don't know how everybody feels about it, but we do need a little bit of colder weather here.
Yeah.
We gotta get some freezing going on so that Robson can get to work. But, yeah, it's exciting.
I did notice the nights over the next week are like -12, -10, but then the days are 4, 3, 4, so. Yeah, it's, yeah, hopefully we get that colder weather, and a lot of people didn't want that, but we need it for the next boardwalk, so.
Just for like a month.
Yeah.
Go back up.
Awesome, okay, all right, if nothing else for roundtable then, so our next meeting date is scheduled for December 11th. So if everybody's okay with that. I'm just wondering too, because I mean, it's close to Christmas and I know other places are, committees, if we all wanna bring a little Christmas little snack or something, cookies that you like, or M&M Sterling if you want, but or you're gonna get your mom to, but yeah, if we want to maybe just bring that kind of blaze a potluck for a little Christmas spirit, then you're welcome to it. So yeah.
Are there any allergies?
I'll add that to the email and get everybody to tell us what they're bringing. If everybody wants to participate. Just tell me if you
Or whoever
all want
wants to, but yeah, it's up to you. So. I didn't say potluck because I have one committee that's a potluck committee. Like food, like I like the goodie potlucks, but I don't. Yeah, anyway,
I think it should be a regular.
what's that?
I think it should be a regular thing.
A regular thing? Yeah, so, yeah. Okay, so December 11th it is, 6:30. All right, so a motion to adjourn. Anyone? Kelly, motion to adjourn, all those in favor? And that's Gary. All right, thanks, everybody.
Chuck.